Hey guys, MericanMaker here, doing some CNC art creations again. Only this time I'm doing laser engraving. If anybody would like to see me do this on a live or has any questions, please feel free to comment in the comments section of this video. So I have the keychain set up. I am doing my actual logo on the front, which, as you can see here, this is going to be on the front of the keychain. It may not look like much right there, but this is what it comes out to be. Come over here and click run. I've already got a few of them made up, so I'm going to click the run button. And then we'll come back over here. And it looks like it didn't start. So try this again. Here we go. And my machine actually has a laser engraving feature on it. So not all CNCs do have this capability. Logo will go on the front, and then after this logo is done, I'll be flipping this over and showing you what I will have put on the back side. Now I will say the lasering engraving process does take a little bit of time. Not recommended unless you have something that's not going to deform with the heat of a laser, to just set it on top like I've done with this. But these keychains are actually thick enough to where I don't have to worry about them curling or curving when they're being engraved. And after this one is done, I'm going to flip it over and do the barcode, this QR code for the scene. QR code will link it to my YouTube channel. And I've already got it set up to where it'll do that. And about 1:36 seconds to go, 1:32. And like I said, the machines, they don't always keep track of the time the proper way. And again, it's recommended not to have the lid open on any of this stuff because of the amount of smoke that comes out of it. Same thing when I did the coin, you know, you're better off having the lid closed. I do have a dust collector hooked up to it to collect the smoke, but for some reason, it's just because the lid is open, it's not sucking up all the smoke like it should. So there is the one side done. Now I'm going to switch this over to my QR code on the CNC machine, and we'll come over here and we'll flip this around, make sure it's lined up at the bottom where it's supposed to be and lined up in that side, keeping it as straight as possible so that it comes out proper. I've got it uploaded in the program, clicking run, and now for the reverse side for the QR code that is linked to my YouTube channel. And I'll also be doing these as custom once I can get my business off the ground. If anybody may be interested, you can shoot me an email. And depending on the image that you want engraved on it will depend on the actual price. Some images take a little bit longer because of the details in it. Whenever you're doing a laser engraving project, when you're creating the image for the raster, you actually have to play with the settings to either brighten up your black and white image so that it can engrave properly. Certain colors engrave better than others. As you can see, the yellow one is really coming out nice. Once it's done with the barcode on this one, or QR code rather, I will show you guys the red ones again and the brown ones again. I've actually done it on white, and the QR code does not scan on the back of a white one. It doesn't leave it dark enough. So even with the materials, like I said, certain materials engrave better than others. Different lasers also have different effects. CO2 laser, at the settings that I have this diode set to, would more than likely cut through this material. And that's just basically because it's you won't see a blue light or anything. You'll just see the laser start taking effect on most of your CO2 lasers. I actually do have one of those, but I don't use it right now because for some reason When I had received it, it had a cracked tube on it, and the tube started arcing out on the machine itself, and it did some damage to the main motherboard, and I have to wait until I can afford to get another motherboard for it, which those are not cheap. I'm also looking at other aspects of being able to just eliminate that motherboard altogether and put a whole new setup inside of it, get rid of the one from OM Tech. I actually would not recommend their products to anybody. Now, there we go, folks, and I'll give you a close-up look on how the detail is on that. I mean, it's a little bit spotty, but it's mainly because it is a QR code. I do apologize for the shakiness of the camera. There you have it. And that's the yellow keychain. So we have that on one side and have that on the other. The dithering, you can see little spots in it as you get closer to it. And you can see the little specks from where the laser engraved on it. Same with this side here. And here's one that I did as a test. And this one here really did some deep cuts. But that creates a weak point in the keychain itself. The burning, you can see how deep it's gone in there. You can see the different grooves that it left. I mean, it'll work for what its purposes are, but at the same time, it becomes pliable, too much depth, and you end up with stuff like this. See how it's just peeling it open and tearing? That's not a good piece. You just want to lightly engrave the surface of it. And then you have the other one like this, where you can see it's got a little bit of depth, but if you pull away at the side, you can see it's a little bit deeper, but it's not coming apart like the other one did. And doing that, and then eventually I'll get the back sides done. But thank you for watching. If you guys want to see more or see some extra stuff, and like I said, if that had been a CO2 laser, when I did this first one, that's really bad. I mean, it's almost all the way through. I mean, it literally went through that first layer. Lightburn software does a little bit better. But if you want to see any more videos, please feel free to like, comment down at the bottom. And thank you guys for tuning in. Till next time.